Judy,
Yes, William.
do you want to see my joie?
Ah, well, of course. And we have a month long of joie to share with you next on Garden Time.
Welcome to Garden Time. We are at Lan Su Chinese Gardens, and did you know that the word joie is actually the Chinese word for chrysanthemums?
And at Lan Su Chinese Garden, they are celebrating the whole month of November as Mumvember.
Later on in the show, I'm going to be talking to Glenn about everything that's happening at this wonderful event in November.
Also coming up in this show, we'll show you a company that makes unique seasonal wreaths.
But coming up first, stocking stuffers. So I am standing in the beautiful showroom of Garden Gallery Ironworks out here in Hubbard, and I'm with you, Don. How are you, Don?
I'm great, thank you.
Now, this is the time of year when, if we haven't already, we must start thinking about some gifts and stuff for family and friends, because the holidays are right around the corner. You've got some lovely ideas here, but you really wanted to concentrate on these stockings. Give me a little bit of history about these and why you like them so much.
Well, you know, stockings are kind of interesting. We did a little research on the internet and we found out that they were actually thought of back in the early 1800s.
Wow.
And there's a story that's going around, and there was this guy in this town that had lost his wife, and he had 3 daughters, and Christmas was going to be very bleak, and he was worried about the future of the daughters and had no money, and he wouldn't take any money from anybody. So then there was this guy running around the community called St. Nicholas, and so he dropped some coins down this guy's chimney, and it landed in these girls' socks. So that's kind of the myth of the story.
There it is, right there.
It is. So anyway,
I bet you anything that those on that chimney weren't flashing, though. That's fancy.
They weren't. Well, that was back in the old days where they had old
more like that,
like
huh?
these here, you know. And we've got a selection of all types of different stockings. So, you know, in today's world, our grandkids all have a separate sock, and I'm sure you hang stockings. And some people hang them on the fireplace. Back in the old days, they just strung a string across the room, and they hung the stockings there.
Well, you know, one of the things that I love is I wanted to show so many people love their pets now. You have even one specifically for dogs, for cats.
Yep.
I mean, you have a really nice selection of them.
Well, don't forget your pets at Christmas.
That's right. Well, and two, what I like, Don, is you here at the store, you really have a lot of stuff that these could even be used as gifts or as stocking stuffers, either one. There's a lot of different things here. Tell me a few things about that.
Well, we've got, you know, for the sports kids, we got that. You know, for mom, we got a little lavender soap, we got some lotion, we got a little ornament here. And you know, and for the guys, we got little plaques here, and for the fishermen, we got a fish.
You really have quite an eclectic collection of all kinds of stuff for people.
Yes. And lots of things that fit in stockings well.
Yes, yeah. Well, now, I wanted to talk about one other thing, though. You have a large showing of an artist. Tell me the artist's name first.
The artist's name is Kelly Ray Roberts.
And you really, I mean, it has been rumored now that I hear that you might have the largest, like, showroom of showing of this art in the U.S., possibly.
We've been told that we have the largest showing in a single showroom of all of her products.
And so tell me a little bit about her and what she creates.
Kelly Ray started off many years ago as a social worker, and so now she's created all this art, and there's all different kinds of things. There's coffee mugs, there's diaries, there's wall hangings. You
even have a couch, don't you, made of the material?
Yes, there's a couch. And a lot of those items in the earlier days have been discontinued now. We still do have one couch left, but there's a lot of different items, and we do have a lot of them in stock. And then she's going to be making a visit to us.
Really?
This holiday season, so check us online and we'll keep you posted on that.
So they could just call the store and find out when the date is for sure and everything's clarified, right?
Absolutely.
Well, you know, it's really a fun place to come out. It's a small trip from Portland if you live there down here to Hubbard. You get to look at all these great gifts, look at the art, come and meet the artist in December. Just call the store to make sure when she'll be here. And thank you so much, Don. It's always fun. It's fun here anyway, but Christmas is a real pleasure. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
If you build it right. Build it to last. Don't just build it for yourself. Build it for the next generation. Build it with Par Lumber. And keep building the Great Northwest.
Par's deck sale is going on now with great deals on TimberTech and Trex, accent lighting, Baselite and accessories, fire pits, waterfalls, and more. Visit par.com for details.
Don't let the cold and wet get you this winter. Warm up to a season of heat with Grimm's Fuel. Grimm's has plenty of wood and heating oil ready to deliver to keep you warm all winter long. Stay warm and cozy with Grimm's Fuel.
Standard TV and Appliance is the largest Gen Air dealer in the Pacific Northwest.
And right now, Standard is offering huge savings and rebates on Gen Air kitchen packages. Plus, when using Standard's factory certified installers, you receive a 2-year warranty and up to $1,000 in additional rebates.
See live Gen Air kitchens in Hollywood, Southeast Portland, Beaverton, and Bend. That's Standard TV and Appliance.
I am standing here with our good friend Glenn, and we are at Lan Su, and it is really beautiful. And I'm looking around, I see mums everywhere because this is Mumvember.
It is.
Tell us what that means to Lan Su Gardens.
It means that at this time of year we roll out our annual chrysanthemum display. So the chrysanthemum is a plant that the Chinese have been growing for over 2,500 years.
Wow.
And we've taken on the tradition ourselves. So every year we bring in about 600 potted chrysanthemums that we grew with our volunteers out at our greenhouse.
That's amazing. And I have to say, literally, you stand anywhere almost in the gardens and look around, you're going to see some mums.
It's true. It's one of the most colorful times of the year.
It really is.
We've got them in every color, every shape, every size. So it's a chance to really see the chrysanthemum, I think, in a new light.
And it really is a celebration. You know, it goes until the end of the month. So the whole month is all about this wonderful plant. And you have some great things happening each weekend too. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so every weekend if people come down, they can see the potted chrysanthemums throughout the garden. But there's also great lectures and demonstrations on the weekends.
Yeah.
Every Saturday we're going to have some person from the community come and talk about a plant-related topic. And on Sundays we're going to do floral arranging demonstrations.
Wow.
Every Sunday throughout the month.
So then you can not only see the beautiful flowers, get some history about what they really mean to the Chinese culture, but learn how to arrange them too. That sounds wonderful. But you know, even though there's a lot of color here because of the mums, I think we forget that sometimes, to me, some of my favorite times of year at Lan Su are the winter months because it changes and yet is still so exquisite.
It's really a garden for all seasons. We've said that so many times before, but you can walk through this garden even in the middle of winter and stay dry because of the covered walkways and the different buildings that you can go into. There's wonderful art usually up. There's other programs happening to really give people something to do even on the coldest of days.
And on those coldest of days, you still have the tea room that's
right.
open. You can get a nice cup of tea and really just enjoy the whole, it's an immersion of this wonderful location that you really walk away feeling different about. It's a beautiful space.
We talk about it as this oasis in the city, and I think if you're especially busy and having a hectic time of it during the holidays, come on down. It's a respite to be here, to enjoy a cup of tea, like you said.
So you know, Glenn, you had mentioned covered walkways and being able to visit the gardens in inclement weather, and I have to say, we're standing under one of them now, so tell me a little bit more about it, because you can really walk almost the whole garden under cover of protection from rain.
Yeah, it's wonderful in the winter because you can go from building to building, and there are these pathways and bridges, and not get wet.
Yeah.
There's wonderful art to see in each of the buildings. There's usually an interactive program or something educational to take in each of the spaces.
Yeah.
And then you can finish it off with a cup of tea over at the tea house.
I just love that too. So you know, for more information on this great location in downtown Portland called Lan Su, you can go to gardentime.tv. We'll click you over to the website. You can find out all the events that are happening and see what's really popping in the gardens that month. It's always a pleasure to be here. Thank you, Lynn.
Thank you.
Garden Time is brought to you by Capital Subaru, your way on the Parkway.
They had to take the car, they had to get it open with the jaws of life, take me out on a backboard, took me to a Trauma One center. I absolutely feel like the Subaru saved my life.
Well, we trust Capital. We trust our salesperson here, Jackie.
Jackie's great. I believe that she really cares about us.
She teaches me about the Subaru.
Our way on the Parkway.
What are you looking for?
Judy, I'm looking for the Garden Time Subaru.
William, it's right behind us.
And you can find it too. It's as easy as going to gardentime.tv.
So click on gardentime.tv and click on the Subaru. Each month the Subaru will be in a different location. Give us your best guess and you could possibly win.
Each month, one lucky person will be chosen from all the correct answers. Prizes can include a gift card to a great nursery, some wonderful tools, or other sweet prizes.
So go to gardentime.tv and help us find the Subaru.
Garden Time is going to Ireland. Join me, William McLenathan, and Judy Alaruso for a tour of the Emerald Isle in July 2015. For more information, go to gardentime.tv and click on the airplane.
I'm out in Forest Grove today. I'm at Kenyon Growers with Kenyon Fink. And Kenyon, you are actually a flower grower out here.
Yes, yeah, we are. We're wholesale grower shippers. And we grow and ship flowers all over the nation.
Wow.
And we try to stay on the unusual side of product, you know, grow some unique things that make flower arrangements that much better.
Yeah, so you have 50 acres here of flowers, and so during your course of your growing and of your harvesting, you really had some extra pieces. So what did you do with those extra pieces?
Well, it was actually my foreman Jose here who suggested that we make wreaths. He had experience making holiday wreaths for another company, and we kind of put two and two together. And said, yeah, this is great. We can upcycle some of this product that we have extra of in the processing for Kenyon growers and make wreaths.
And so this one that Jose's making is actually all different kind of rose hips.
Yes.
And really, we all have them in our garden right now, so, but they're so beautiful in a wreath too. It's a great marriage of all that idea.
It is, it really is. And we grow 3 different types here for the cut flower trade, and they dry really well and they look fantastic all assorted together in a wreath.
And you make other kind of wreaths, not just with rose hips, but I see all this material here. You have dried hydrangeas, you have nandina, you have winterberry,
yes.
And then lichen. So
Lichens,
all different kind.
Yes, yeah, it's part of our crops here. We grow all of these, with the exception of the lichen, but yeah.
And what I like is that it's not just for the season. You really can have these wreaths on our homes for years sometimes. You have a great story.
Yes, yes. Everything we use in these wreaths dries, and they actually take on a new life once the color fades. My mother has had one for 3 years on her door. She does not want a new one because she loves the tans and earth tone colors that they turn over time.
That is nice because, you know, the seasons kind of change, but it is nice to have something that you could put back up or you can kind of change around and put in different places of your home and still enjoy it in a different way.
Exactly. I have told people that they should get wreaths for each season, and when they dry out, they can start a collection in their garage.
Right. Do you have another favorite one that you like? Another one that maybe is new to the...
One of my yeah, we do have a new one. Yeah, the new one is called the Solstice Twist. It's using lichen and winterberry, red winterberry, and we add a few sprigs of fantail willow to it, and it's really gotten a lot of good publicity.
Well, they are so unique, and it just kind of is so creative, and to kind of just take things that are around your farm,
yes,
and just kind of make something that's so unique that we can decorate our homes for.
Absolutely, yeah. You bring a little bit of nature inside your home too. They go on the wall inside too. So.
And so, where can we find these beautiful pieces?
Well, you can find them at my website, mywreaths.com, and we also have a store on Etsy. Under My Wreaths Oregon, and we are also found locally here in Portland at the Portland Farmers Market in the Park Blocks, Portland State.
Well, Jose, this is really coming out beautiful. You are just a craftsman and artisan. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Well, if you have any other questions, please go to gardentime.tv and we'll click you over to mywreaths.com, and you can see all the beautiful wreaths that they create out here at Kenyon Growers. Well, thank you so much, Kenyon.
Thank you.
Garden Time's Incredible Edibles.
So I'm standing at the really lovely Bauman Farm and Gardens. I'm here with Brian, and we are going to be talking today about squash because, Brian, there's a lot of different varieties available, and there's things to know about them. So let's just jump right in.
It's confusing. People come in and they don't know what they are, what to do with them.
Yeah.
So let's work on that.
Okay.
So I put together kind of a sampling of a whole bunch of different types of squash here. Acorn is probably the most common. This is what most people will go to because they know what it is.
Sure.
But there's a lot of other varieties. Of course, there's butternut. You know, I'm sure you've tried butternut soup before. That's great. This yellow one back here is called spaghetti because the inside texture is stringy, kind of like spaghetti noodles would be. This is actually called baby blue. And this is just a regular Hubbard. So baby blue is like a smaller version of a Hubbard squash.
So is it technically a Hubbard? It just is a small, okay, that
smaller,
makes sense.
because this is...
That's massive.
Yeah, if you're feeding 30 or 40, this may work. But it's a big squash. Gold nuggets, another favorite, great. Delicata.
I love that.
My favorite. We'll get back to that in just a minute. Of course, pumpkins and sweetmeat squash. So
why do you have those together, though? It seems like...
A lot of people come in and ask, I want to make pumpkin pie for the holidays. Great. So we have these pumpkins. They're called pie pumpkins. And they're called that because they're about the size of what you would need to make a pumpkin pie.
Okay.
But I always tell people, if you're going to make pumpkin pie, it's best not to use pumpkin.
And why is that?
Sounds kind of odd, right?
Yeah.
Pumpkin itself is very watery. And so when you're making the actual pie, it gets hard to get the right consistency.
Okay.
And a lot of times when you buy pumpkin in the stores, they're actually using a sweetmeat squash.
Really?
Has the same color, same flavor that the pumpkin would have, but it's not as watery.
And is there a specific variety of sweetmeat they tend to use, or is it
just a sweetmeat squash?
Okay, cool.
That I'm aware of. And this is so this is where I'll turn people towards to do a sweetmeat squash.
And I see under your finger, it looks like there's quite a slash there.
Yes.
What is that for?
Well, I mean, one of the questions we get about squash is so hard. How do you break it apart? How do you use it? And so it's good to have a knife. It's good to have a hammer. And generally, to crack that hard shell, you just lay your knife down there and right on the back spine of it, just give it a little tap, and you can go right through the squash.
They're that hard
yes.
to get into. Wow.
Yes. So hammer and knife
help tremendously, huh?
That's right. But that's how you break them apart.
Go ahead. Now I'm thinking, well, did you have something else to say there?
No, I'm done with that. But I wanted to come back to delicata.
Yes, indeed.
My kids would eat this every single night for dinner if they could. They love it. It's great. Why? Because it's much sweeter and has a better texture than I think any of the other squash.
Yeah.
And it's so easy to cook. Instead of having to take a hammer and a knife like we did to the sweetmeat, this you just want to put in the microwave.
Really?
In fact, we're going to put up some recipes on our Facebook. We'll tie it over to Garden Time's Facebook. It's a very simple recipe. It takes about 10 minutes to cook this at night. I know we have a great recipe for the pumpkin as well.
Yeah.
So you want to go check that out. But you're essentially going to put it in the microwave, poke some holes in it when it gets soft, cut it in half, pull out the seeds, add a little bit of butter and brown sugar, and it's ready to go.
Yeah, and I know that your mother eats those a lot too. I mean, your whole family loves delicata, and they are delicious.
They are. They're great. In fact, Mom was out here earlier, and I think she even made us one.
That's why I love your mom.
I know. She feeds you when you come by.
She does.
That's why you came to see me, isn't it?
It's
you
true.
were hungry. Yeah.
So, and of course, I'm going to taste this because it really is wonderful. Oh man, And it tastes just like you want fall to taste. It's delicious.
It's great. We have lots of them in stock right now. Now's the perfect time of the year to come out and get some. They're great.
Okay, Brian, so this only takes a couple of minutes, and
right.
You know, but I would think that these bigger varieties would take longer.
They're going to take longer, and in fact, a lot of people take the knife and cube them up and make them into more manageable sizes. But in order to get some really good recipes, you know, go to our website, go to your Facebook page. We've got a lot of it there, and if all, just come in and say hi.
Yeah.
We'd be happy to help you walk through those steps.
Well, there you go. You can go to gardentime.tv. We'll click you over to Bauman's website. You can get a list of the great things that you can make out of these wonderful, wonderful squashes. It's always fun coming out here. Thanks a lot, Brian.
Thank you.
Garden Time is brought to you by Portland Nursery, a passion for plants, a nursery for plant people.
Is your garden in need of refreshment? Hi, I'm Sarah, and there are plenty of things in bloom at Portland Nursery. Come check out our beautiful fall color to perk up your garden. At Portland Nursery, we consider fall the second season, and the gardening opportunities are endless. Establish next year's trees, replace lettuce and greens, or get a jump on onions and garlic. Portland Nursery, a passion for plants, a nursery for plant people, on 50th and Stark and 90th and Division, or at portlandnursery.com.
The holidays have arrived at Garden Gallery Ironworks. Stop by our store in Hubbard and see the season in a whole new light. We have a wide selection of new and unusual gift ideas. From stocking stuffers and hostess gifts to large decor pieces, we have thousands of items to choose from. And don't forget the outdoors. We have gifts for the gardeners too. We also have a large selection of Kelly Ray Roberts items for you to take home. Give the gift they'll thank you for from Garden Gallery Ironworks.
Hey guys!
We thought you'd be out fishing, Quinn.
Hey, I love fish and I like to eat fish. Sometimes I need something from gardeners.
Don't worry, Quinn. We've got you covered.
Make your holiday with all natural whole turkey, smoked turkey, or old-fashioned hams. Order early before they're gobbled up.
Now this is how you cure a long day on the water.
Gardeners Meats treats you right.
Don't let the cold and wet get you this winter. Warm up to a season of heat with Grimm's Fuel. Grimm's has plenty of wood and heating oil ready to deliver to keep you warm all winter long. Stay warm and cozy with Grimm's Fuel.
I have had a unique invitation today. I am at Bailey Nurseries Expo, and I'm with Natalia Hamill, and she is the brand manager for Bailey's. And really, we are so lucky here in Oregon because you have 2 sites here that you grow. And where are those?
We do. We have one here in Yamhill, which is where we are today, and then we also have a facility on Sauvie Island.
So that means they are doing testing on their plants that you see in your independent garden center right here in Oregon, so you can really see that they're going to perform well for us.
That's right.
And so you're going to talk about some plants that are available now, and then some are going to be available next year. So what do you have for us?
That's right. Well, part of my role as brand manager is to bring new plants into the marketplace, but we want to be very, very careful in terms of we call them genetics that we're bringing into the marketplace so that consumers can be really successful with them.
And you know, the crepe myrtles have been beautiful this summer, and you have some new ones for us.
We do. You've had a good hot summer here, so I know you've had a lot of crepes blooming in the landscape. And this is part of a series that we call the Magic series of crepe myrtles. And they're unique in several different ways. For the most part, they are what we call semi-compact crepe myrtles. So they will grow anywhere from 6 to 10 feet tall, depending on the variety. So they're smaller crepe myrtles than what you typically see. And all of them, except one, is a nice shrub form. So it's bushy and shrubby. They bloom very, very heavily. They're disease and insect resistant.
Perfect.
So some of the other crepes oftentimes will get a leaf spot or powdery mildew or some things that don't look so nice later in the season. And these Magics are disease resistant. The crepes, I like them in the landscape, so in the garden, in the ground, but I also like them very much in a patio container.
And that'll be nice for a lot of people that don't have a garden anymore, but they have a patio, so these will be perfect.
Right, exactly.
And these will be available next year, so we have to call next year our independent garden centers.
That's right.
And so, but this Hypericum is available this year.
This is available this year. This particular one is called Red Flame, so it's got that nice glossy berry, and there's several other colors. There's a brown one, and there's a white and a green and all. But again, a good plant for the garden, maybe even a better pot, a better plant for a patio pot.
Very nice.
And you could mix something, you know, something else, something cascading to go with it.
Oh, and great fall color that it just goes with everything that's fall. I mean, pumpkins and all that kind of, you know, if you put it in a pot, you can have your pumpkins, you can have hay bale, and it's really your front door is ready to go for fall.
And it's, you know, it's a really nice alternative or addition maybe to mums, because a lot of people use the fall mums.
Beautiful.
But this would be something that would be a little bit different.
And hydrangeas. I think Bailey is known for hydrangeas. They are the ones that came out with the Endless Summer, which really turned everybody back onto hydrangeas. If they had forgotten about them, you brought that back to the forefront.
That's right. Endless Summer, we've got 4 different hydrangeas in the Endless Summer brand, and the blue one here that has the nice big fluffy flower heads on it is called the Original. That's one that you will see the hydrangea macrophyllus are the ones that go from blue to pink depending on the acidity of the soil. So some gardeners will have them in their gardens as pink plants, and others will have them as blue. The one we see here is blue because the soil is acidic. And it's called a mop head type hydrangea, so big fluffy balls of flowers and wonderful cut flowers, and they re-bloom as well.
And now I think you have another one that's going to be tantalizing for us.
Yeah, we are really excited about this one. This one is called Bloom Struck, and it's got more of a purple flower to it. It too, though, can be a really, really deep kind of a red pink or this very nice purple.
Beautiful.
Good strong stems. Earlier in the season, the stems are red, so it's very distinctive that way. Big, tough, the foliage on it is tough. It's glossy and it's tough, and it tends to be more heat resistant, so it doesn't wilt down the way some of the others do on those really hot summer days. And as we say, it's a very potent rebloomer. So you can see we've got the big, big flower heads here, but then we've got lots of new flower heads coming. So it's going to bloom for many, many more weeks.
Wow. Well, we can have you go over to Garden Time website. We'll click you over to Bailey's, and you can get more information there, or call your independent garden centers and see if they have these beautiful plants for you. Thanks so much for all the information.
Thank you, Judy.
We want to thank Lan Su Chinese Garden for letting us hang out today, and remember that the whole month is the celebration of Mumvember. We also want to remind you that there's only 2 more episodes left in Garden Time's 9th season.
Now, you can go to gardentime.tv and click on the This Week link. You can view their entire episodes or just segments of the shows from the past.
William and I thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week here on Garden Time.
Garden Time is going to Ireland. Join me, William McLenathan, and Judy Alaruso for a tour of the Emerald Isle in July 2015. For more information, go to gardentime.tv and click on the airplane.
The proceeding was a paid program of the Guston Creative Group and its sponsors.